all that grounding was for nothing. Well, I got through high school by the skin of my teeth. I applied to 28 colleges. I got into 2. One of them was Park University in Missouri. I never actually met anybody who has gone to Park University in Missouri. I am convinced it is a doorway on a prairie. I also got into Emerson College. I went there. I nearly flunked out my first 2 years, and then I talked my way back in. And then, in my senior year of the spring semester at Emerson College in Boston, I applied to the Yale School of Drama. Now, I forgot to tell you that my parents were very short people. And they came from Germany in 1939. They arrived in New York City. And my father brought with him a lumber business. He wanted me to import and export wood. I wanted to be an actor since I was 7 years old. I don't know how it came into my heart. I don't know how it came into my mind. All I know is, if people were born to do something, I was born to try and be an actor. And my father, of course, wanted me to buy and sell
wood.
I did not want to buy and sell
wood.
I wanted to be an
actor.
My father asked me about 11 times a day in 15 languages, because he spoke a lot of languages. I had trouble with English. He said to me, "Why do you think I bought the business over here?" I said, "Besides being chased by the Nazis, Dad, was there a bigger reason than that?" They called me Dummer Hund. Yeah, very affectionate phrase. For those of you who don't speak German, that means dumb dog. Very supportive people. Right there by my side at all times. When I was growing up, I saw my life as a cylinder of stainless steel. No handhold, no foothold, and I tried to get to the sun, and I kept slipping down all the time. But I had a dream, and I never let the dream go. I never let my dream out of my mind. So now I'm going to Yale Drama School. I called my parents. I said, "Hey, Dummer Hund got into Yale." And my mother said, and I remember this like it was yesterday, she said, "Oh, this is very nice. Here, tell your father." Okay, so now I'm at Yale, and 25 actors started, 11 finished, 3 were asked into the professional company. I was one of those 3. I'm making $173 a week. I'm being an actor. I'm on my way. I'm living my dream. Amazing. Now, I'm in the professional company. I stay for a year and a half, and I go to New York and I try out for commercials. Everybody that I went to Yale with said, "I don't know how you can do commercials. It goes against our aesthetic grain. We were trained for the theater." Their next question to me was, "How do you get them?" Because I was working in front of a camera. I was working, I didn't have to be a waiter, not that there's anything wrong, but I could do plays for free at night because I was making money during the day. And then, in 1973, I got on a plane at 10 o'clock in the morning, American Airlines. We landed 2:45 in the afternoon in terra firma, Los Angeles. Who remembers? And I was there for a month. I made enough money to go to LA for a month. Hollywood was the only wood I was interested in. So there I am, and I audition. I get Mary Tyler Moore show that within like 5 days, I got 4 lines on a sitcom called Mary Tyler Moore. And a week later, I go to Paramount Studios. I try out for a brand new show. I got 6 lines on this new show. I'm on the set, and they say, The character goes to the mirror and combs his hair. I'm so sorry, you know, every actor who has ever played a part like this has combed their hair. I'm not going to comb my hair. I'll do anything else, but, you know, I've got to be true to myself. And the director said, oh, that's so lovely. It says you go to the mirror, comb your hair. Go to the mirror, comb your hair. I walk up to the mirror. I pull the comb out of my back pocket. I look in the mirror. Hey, I don't have to because it's perfect. And that's how the defining moment of my character came to be. I was true to myself, and I was still being a professional. It was unbelievable. Here it is. This is what I know. And for every human being in this room, if you have a dream, if you know that you need to do something, you don't talk yourself out of it, and we're very good at that, aren't we? We have a rationale for always not doing what we want to do. Or somebody is going to tell you, don't do it. They said to Barbra Streisand, your nose is too big. You're not really attractive enough. She knew what she wanted. She sang her way through the decades. Everybody has a Barbra Streisand song somewhere on their iPod. You don't have to listen to anybody else. The distance between your dream and you is you. Nobody is going to stop you if you know what you want without any doubt, without ambivalence. You just keep walking to what you want to do. And I promise you, I am living proof. I was told I was stupid, I was lazy, dumme Hund, I'll never live up to my potential, there's not much I can accomplish, because I got a D- in everything. I still can't spell. I have spell check on the computer. I write a letter. And a red sign comes up on my computer screen. What the hell are you talking about? It's not even close to anything I understand. There's always somebody in the house, in the office, in your space, who you can call and say, hey, how do you spell allergy? Because I don't know. I can't sound the words out. But here's another thing that I learned. For all of the young people in this audience, if school is a little difficult, I'm here to tell you right now, how you learn has nothing to do with how brilliant you are. You are in no way defined by your grades. No one has ever asked me how I did in algebra. All they did is ask me, is it fun to work with Adam Sandler? And yes, it is. We've got 2 dogs. Charlotte, she just passed away, 16 years old. She was a Labradoodle. She was an independent sleeper. If you dared touch her with your toe, if she slept on our bed, I had to tell Charlotte every night, it's my bed! Linus. Stacy, my wife, brought Linus home. He was a little Labrador, a little guy, 4 months old, tiny little guy. She brought him home. He had no tags. He promptly grew into a Great Dane. A little bit of a mix. 120 pounds. He sleeps on the bed, he sleeps touching you. And by touching you, I mean he sleeps on you, like a safety belt. You don't get up and pee in the middle of the night unless he says okay. And here's another fact about Linus. Linus has the worst breath in America. Linus, I have to go. I woke up one morning, I swear, he seared the eyebrows right off my face. We have 3 kids. Jed is my stepson. He came as a gift with the marriage to Stacy. And Zoe was a teacher. Now she's the mother of 3 beautiful redheaded boys. Zoe, you know, I always thought it was really important for our children to have chores. They were great negotiators. I did their chores. Zoe had a bunny, and she had to feed the bunny, clean the cage. I share a bathroom in the morning with Stacy. Zoe came in. I said, Zoe, did you feed your bunny? She looked at my wife and said, why did you marry him? I can't listen to his voice anymore. I said, Zoe, when you talk like that, it hurts my feelings. She said, well, then don't listen to me. I'm just a kid. I don't know what I'm saying. Max, our youngest, who's now a director, he came running in and he said, Dad, I know that they make corn oil out of corn. How do they make baby oil? I said, I'm going to get back to you on that. He's still waiting. There was a lull in my acting career. Who knew there would be a lull in your acting career? Somebody suggested I write books for children about my learning challenges. When Jed, our oldest, my stepson, was in the 3rd grade, he was studying the Hopi Nation, the American, Native Americans in Arizona. We went there. He had to write a report. He couldn't do it. I said everything to him that was said to me. You're being lazy. You're not living up to your potential. Go write it again. He couldn't. We had him tested. And everything that they said about Jed was true about me. And at 31, I found out I was not stupid. I was not lazy. I was not a dumme Hund. I had something with a name. I was dyslexic. So when I had a lull in my acting career, then my agent said, write books for children about your learning challenges. And I said, I can't do that. I feel I'm stupid. Because if you tell a child, oh, don't be stupid, don't be a moron, oh, come on, live up to your potential, you should know that by your age. If you tell them often enough, a child believes what you say. Because you are all very powerful human beings, and the words you say go into other human beings. It lands. I had a music teacher in the 11th grade, Mr. Rock, who I've written into the books. In the 11th grade, he said one sentence to me. He said, Winkler, if you ever do get out of here, you're going to be great. I held on to that one sentence like Leo DiCaprio held on to that piece of wood when he slid off the boat. It really matters. And so we came up with Hank Zipzer. And I can't believe that my name is on 1, let alone 34 novels. Can I read a little of Hank Zipzer to you?
Yes.
Okay, so it is a spelling test. Now, like Hank, short for Henry, I studied my words, I knew them, I went to class, I was confident, and it's the spelling test. Of course, I had the worst teacher in the world. Her name was Miss Adolph. I think she was related. Her breath was gray, her eyelids were gray, her knees were gray. Miss Adolph must have called my name, but I was concentrating so hard, I didn't hear her at first. All of a sudden, I saw her standing over me. The entire class was staring at me. Every eye was burning into my skin. dreaming, are we? Miss Adolph asked. Oh, no, I answered. See, I was just practicing my words. I guess I can't spell and hear at the same time. The kids cracked up. I had to smile. There it was, the old Zipser attitude. Come with me, young man. We walked up to the front of the classroom. I looked at all the faces staring at me. All of a sudden, my ears stopped working for real. Turn the page. It was as if everything was moving in slow motion. Miss Adolph said the word, rhythm. I saw her lips move. I couldn't hear a thing. Come on, Hank, breathe. You know this word. Okay, my body started working. Rhythm, R-H-Y-T-H-M, rhythm. And without realizing it, I high-fived myself. Quiet! This is not a laughing matter. All right, Mr. Comedian, try the word receive. Receive. R-E-C. I paused. So far, so good. And then my mind went totally blank. R-E-C, what? Oh no, what's the rule? Oh, there's an I, there's an E, but what comes first? What's the word? I forgot the word. How could I be so stupid? Well, Henry, there is more to the word perceive than R-E-C. This is great. At least I knew the word again. Don't tell me. Trust me, I won't. Receive. R-E-C-I-E-V-E. Receive. Please. Please let that be right. I thought you said you knew it. Last night, I knew every one of these words, forwards and backwards. This morning, I lost them. From the time I left my apartment until the time I arrived in class, they must have fallen out of my head. Maybe I lost them on the street, or in the stairwell, or in the hallway going up to my classroom. I started to hit my forehead. Henry, what are you doing? Miss Adolph, you see, I think the words are holding on to the inside of my brain. I'm trying to knock them into my mouth. So, I'm just going to leave you where I started. Every one of you has got greatness inside you. And your job is to figure out what that greatness is, dig it out, and give it to the world as a gift. Because there is not one adult in your city, in your country, who cannot wait to see who you become. And I thank you for listening, because my parents never did. Thank you. There are 2 microphones here. Does anybody have a question? Anybody? Yes, my darling. Nice to see you.
What's your favorite movie?
What's my favorite movie that I've ever seen or that I ever did?
Have you been in?
That I've been in. Do you know what? That is a great question. I don't have a favorite. Because every time I do a job, I always think, this is the greatest thing. This is it. This is my favorite. Now, I want you to repeat after me. December.
December.
NBC.
NBC.
Better late than never.
Better late than never.
We're coming back.
Can I tell you one more thing? My mom loves you.
I'm so happy to see you too. Yes, sir. I'm rehearsing Happy Days on Monday. We rehearse all the way until Friday, and then we shoot in front of a live audience. They could not find any actor who would take Mork from Ork. And Robin was a stand-up comic. This was going to be one of his first television shows. He came in, they gave him the script. We now are lacking 2 days of rehearsal. And from the moment he opened his mouth, I realized I am in the presence of greatness. And my job is just to not laugh and get out of the way and let him be who he is. Because, man, it was something to witness. Thank you. I love Vancouver. Thank you.